to We Watch Movies,
I'm Ava,
and I'm Jenna.
and we watch movies. So this week we watched America the Motion Picture, and my gosh, it is a time. Um, so basically, it is a satire comedy animation about the history of America. The totally 100% accurate history of America, mind you.
Yes.
And yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. Jenna, what was your initial reaction?
I hated this movie. I was so uncomfortable while watching it. I hated the experience. Like, there were some moments that were fine, that I didn't hate, but for the most part, I'd never want to think about this movie again.
I don't think I hated it as much as you did. I'm not saying I liked it in any sense of the word. But there were moments that were kind of good. There were a couple jokes here and there that got me, but for the most part, the jokes were like kind of meh. Basically, it's American political history satire, but it can't be the best that it could possibly be because it wasn't written by somebody from Gen Z. It kind of bummed me out because I saw the trailer and I thought it was gonna be good. I saw the premise. I thought it could have been so good. It could have been hilarious. There were so many missed opportunities, and they just decided to take it in really weird directions, like really random things. The best kind of satire is the stuff that actually has the stuff where you're like, oh yeah, it's funny because it's true, you know? But then you're out here saying Benedict Arnold was a werewolf. I just don't see why that would be funny. I don't get the point of something like that.
This movie was just absurd.
Like, every once in a while when their jokes were kind of relevant to actual American history or actual the state of America now, it sometimes was actually funny. Like, there were some parts at the end, there were a couple of moments like that, and I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of good. Why couldn't the rest of the movie been like this? It could have been kind of good. I don't know, I just kind of missed the mark on a lot of things, unfortunately.
Yeah, there were some moments where I was like, okay, movie, I'll give you this. But the rest of it, I just... it could have been good, because, I watched this movie, too, because I thought it could be funny. But then it wasn't. It was not funny so much of the time. And there were so many choices where I was like, I don't see your reasoning for why you would do this. Who thought this was a good idea? Again, Benedict Arnold being a werewolf, why? And just... There were so many choices that I've spent too much time thinking about, and I still don't get them.
It's just every other scene you were watching it, and just a choice was made.
yes, that was it.
But no, this is something that could have been really funny, like I said. But I honestly feel like it would have been a lot better if they weren't as I don't know what the word is. If they didn't take quite as many liberties with the actual events that happened.
Yeah.
Because if they stuck to the source material a little bit more, it could have been cool. I don't know. They had a bunch of weird sci-fi additions, which I love sci-fi, but some of them were just absurd, and I think that was the point. But it just the point just didn't land as well as it could have. But there were... Oh wait, what?
If they had actually stuck with the revolution as normal, I would have accepted some of those weird sci-fi bits. Or if they had done the weird storyline they did, but didn't do as many of the stranger elements that they included, I would have been okay with that too. But both was a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some jokes that I thought were funny. I thought the racist joke was funny. I'm the fastest racist in the whole land. I thought that was funny just because it was stupid. I think that the allusions, they had some good allusions. They alluded to Star Wars, they alluded to National Treasure. They had that little nod to Denzel Washington at the end.
Yeah.
Like those worked well, but those moments when the funniest jokes in your movie are alluding to other movies is kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, it
little
doesn't
depressing.
say that much about your movie.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it could have been so much better. I think if this were written entirely by Gen Z, it would be funny because that's my humor because I'm part of Gen Z. I don't know where I'm going with this point, but like, yeah.
Yeah, and also, like, I mean, some of the reason why I didn't like this movie was just, like, a lot of, like, common things that occur in adult animation just don't do it for me, which is fine, that's just my personal preference. But also, like, they were doing a lot of things to try to be funny, but, like, they didn't really, like, pick one avenue, and they were trying to do satire, but I don't think they truly understood satire to the best of their abilities, and they were kind of just like, oh, we're making jokes about this one thing and like trying to like be kind of like self-reflective about it in a funny way. That's satire, and it's like you can't have a little more nuance to your discussion and your comedy than just being like, oh, haha, here's something that's obviously bad about this thing, we're gonna make jokes about it into the ground. It's like, okay, have fun with that movie.
Yeah, like, I mean, the actual events of the American Revolution have plenty of things to make fun of. Okay, there's plenty of stuff that you could have taken and run with it. Even, I mean, if you wanted to make a whole new story with like crazy sci-fi stuff, I don't know if your comedy should have come from political commentary, even though that would have been funnier. But like, still, they had like these weird things, like they killed off so many people at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and then I don't know, Ben Franklin came back as a zombie at the end, didn't it? And then like they killed off Abe Lincoln really early on, and they had these, I don't know, I mean, they were just like weird events that they decided to make happen. That, I mean, I can get behind like maybe, oh, Paul Revere does horse racing or something. I can get behind like something like that. But just these like major events that they decided to just like change that didn't need to be changed, you know? And it's just like, why? I don't understand, because it wasn't even funny when they did it, you know?
Yeah, because like this kind of goes back to my thing of like I couldn't understand many of the choices, because at first I was like, oh, this is going to be revolution centric with like maybe some jokes or like referring to future things in American history, but like it's still going to follow the revolution. But then they killed everyone at the signing of the Declaration, and I was like, what? And then they like made reference to other moments in American history, like they made reference to like Vietnam, the Titanic sinking, and just all of these other different things. And I was like, okay, if you were not doing the revolution, you would think we would like do like roughly like chronologically through like American history and spoofing on that. But there was no rhyme or reason to how they did that either. They were just like, oh, let's make a Vietnam joke. Okay, now we're gonna use the Titanic because boat sinking, funny. And I don't get why they just did this smattering of historical events in like no discernible order other than, okay, we needed this for the plot.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many missed opportunities with something like this, because I've seen like, or I don't know how much I've actually seen, but there I know there are a lot of adult animation things that have like commentary and satire, blah blah blah, all that stuff. These are all elements that have been successful before. You know, just like political commentary, satire. All of the elements of this movie that were there have been done successfully before. And they could have been done successfully together. This wasn't a lost cause from the beginning. Like, if somebody was giving me this pitch, I'd be like, okay. And then they'd be like, oh, and then Benedict Arnold was a werewolf. And I'd be like, okay. And they'd be like, and then the Big Ben comes to life and fights. And I'd be like, okay, stop. And it's like, in premise, like, the trailer looked fine. It looked like a completely different thing than what we ended up getting, you know? Well, not like a completely different, but like it looked way more successful than what we ended up getting.
Yeah, like based off of what I knew about this movie, I had a reasonable expectation for what it was going to be. Now, I'm not like grading this movie on my expectation. I'm just saying like I kind of had a basic understanding of what this movie was going to be about, and that was just blown out of the water, and not in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying to kind of think, like, oh, so this movie's going to be about this, and then it kind of laughs at you and says, no, it's actually this, and you're like, oh, that's not very good. Could have written this a little better, I think.
And I also feel like, I don't know 100% about this because it didn't bother me, but I feel like a lot of people might have gotten mad at this movie for tainting the sacred name of America and its history or something.
Listen, history, it's a thing.
Has its eyes on you.
Yeah. And I mean, like, listen, like, taking history and spoofing on it in not great ways, like this movie did not revolutionize that concept, if you get me there. But like I will say, like, of all the movies that you want to make about America, and like even to like satirize and like make political commentary on, this wasn't the best vehicle for that. Like, if you want to make a movie about George Washington and the Revolution and he straps chainsaws to his arms, go for it. But don't try to mesh that into your, like, political comedy, too, you know? Like, both of those movies can exist, like, I'll allow it. But maybe not together? That might be a bit much.
You know, maybe they were trying to make it so off the rails so that people couldn't claim that it was supporting, like, a air quotes agenda or something. Because like I feel like that's a word that a lot of people throw around for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe they were like, if we make this dumb enough, people won't be able to tell what we actually support. Except at the end they were kind of pretty clear about what they supported.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, so that's probably not the reason. Maybe it was just poor planning. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was poor planning. Because, like, I don't think it really would have satisfied anyone.
Yeah.
No matter their political leaning or how they feel about America.
Like, they saved all of their actual commentary for, like, the last, like, 2 minutes. And I was like, why couldn't you have brought more of this? I mean, they had some commentary, sure. But, like, they could have done more of the topics that they brought up at the end. Definitely. I mean, there were some moments, like, I think that the scene in the gun shop was kind of funny in some ways. I think that, they tried too hard to make the scene with the blacksmith funny. They did a thing about the 3/5 thing. That was okay. Okay. They really reached for the whole, Thomas Edison thing. Because they wanted a smart scientific woman on their team, so they decided, why not just take a man and make that into our smart, strong woman character.
Like, there hasn't been prominent women scientists in American history. Like, no, not a single one. Like, we have to do, we have to do a guy, and we have to make it a woman because that's totally funny and realistic.
Like, okay, guys, we need to cater to the feminists. So, we need to write a character that's strong, independent, intelligent, and awesome. That's also a woman. How do we do that? Well, why don't we just write a man and then just change his parts? I don't know. Why don't we just pick a guy that cuz the guy is already strong and independent and smart and awesome, and just decide that it's that guy is actually a woman. I mean, like, you're really trying there, guys.
But, like, they didn't try at all to do, like, an actual, like, woman from history. Like, they exist. Women aren't some new 21st century concept.
I know.
Like,
I mean, there's
been,
been, like,
in the scientific field.
like, there has been so many, like, intelligent and powerful women throughout history that you don't need to pick a man to create a strong, intelligent female character for your historical satire film. Like, you don't need to do that. And then they also tried to, like, bang out two minorities in the same time, so they also gave her the immigrant minority. I don't know, was Thomas Edison an immigrant? Well, I mean, like, in the not in the not white sense, I guess.
You think I know that about Thomas Edison? Let's
okay, well, I'll Google it.
I'm gonna Google it. I mean, I know Thomas Edison, like, didn't sleep or anything.
What?
That's not helpful here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Thomas Edison just never slept.
He was an American citizen. So not only did they make their feminist minority character from a man, they made that character from a white man. That's a lot to unpack there. I didn't even think about that until, like, this moment.
Yeah, because
they really...
Yeah. Because again, it's not like there have never been women of color in the STEM field that you could have used for this role. Because again, that just isn't a thing, I guess. And yes, that is sarcasm.
I mean, even if it's so difficult for you to find a historical figure to suit your needs, to make a smart scientist that is also a woman and is also an immigrant, okay, fine. Why don't you just write a new one? That's another thing you could do. Clearly, you don't care that much about American history, so why not just make an original character? Maybe just a little original character? Maybe? No? Oh, okay.
Yeah, or do, like, a character that, like, acts as kind of, like, the audience now. You know? Like, I guess, like, an audience insert character. And, like, I don't know, it's just really weird. Because, like, in all of the, like, big battle scenes where you have, like, a ton of people, and, like, at the end when they have, like, all the people, like, all the colonists, like, fighting the British, and they have all the different people there, it's, like, it's all, like, different types of people. But then, like, the actual people we follow in this movie are just who they are, and it's like, why? What? Someone maybe had a brain cell, but I don't think they used it.
I liked the Johnny Appleseed homage.
Oh, yeah.
Funny. I want the story behind the giant and the random blue bull. I wanna know why Ben Franklin was a zombie at the end. Like, can any of this be explained, please? Because honestly, we followed the most boring characters.
I know.
Except for I liked Paul Revere. I liked Thomas Edison. They didn't even try to go with Thomason. Thomason is a female name, but like, whatever.
Like, as much as I dislike how they did Thomas Edison's character, she was like the only character I could stand.
I know, right? And then there was I don't know, sometimes I liked Geronimo, but sometimes I didn't. So I don't really know how I feel about him. But like, still, I don't understand. Also, I don't understand why they used Paul Revere, like why they fused him to his robot horse. I wanted him to be riding an epic robot horse, okay? But whatever. It's fine.
Again, choices were made. That's all I have to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that. That's a better movie if you want a little walk down American history.
Yeah. Just watch Forrest.
Yes. But like, I don't know, I can't say that there weren't moments that I enjoyed or something, but like, it could have been 8 quadrillion times better, and for the most part, I didn't really like a lot of it. There were a lot of mistakes made, there were a lot of missed opportunities, and it just, I don't know, the writing was not fully there, is the problem.
It had no right to be this awful. You should have been better. I did! I mean, some of it is just personal preference, and it's just not being a movie for me, but the other half of me is like, no. Like, how could you? You betrayed my trust, and you could have made this movie so much better, but you didn't.
I have a question, Jenna.
Go for it.
Would you rather watch this movie again, or watch Hubie Halloween again?
You know, I thought about that question after I saw this movie. I was like, where do I rank it in my least favorite movies that we've watched on this channel? It's easily Hubie Halloween.
Really?
Yup.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know, this would be a closer call for me.
You see, it's also like, Hubie Halloween isn't fresh in my mind, because that was like, what, our second movie we watched on this channel?
I think so.
Yeah,
we were
so
a baby channel.
Yeah, so like, you know what, I could do Hubie Halloween again, just because like, I tried to forget so much of that movie, and again, I liked the set pieces in that movie, so I could block it out.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do Hubie Halloween again. That was problematic, and I don't even like dislike most of Adam's, or not most of, it's not like I dislike 100% of what Adam Sandler does with his life. It's just that was definitely a miss. Okay, what about this movie or Thunder Force?
Yeah, you chose a more present one. All I can think about is Melissa McCarthy eating raw chicken. And that's really all the argument I need. Probably this movie I'd watch again, I guess. I don't know, like, I just don't have the energy to watch Thunder Force again, you know? I think this movie's shorter.
What about
I'll go with this one.
This movie or We Could Be Heroes?
Easily We Could Be Heroes.
Okay,
that movie was bad, but at least it was bad with style.
This movie or Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight?
Oh, I was waiting for that one. Again, it's been a while. Probably Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight. I think this movie is marginally like higher in my ranking of worst movies that we've watched, but it's just been a while since I've seen that movie, so I would watch it again.
I would watch that movie for the meme of it all. I would watch it unprompted. I feel like around Halloween time, I'm just gonna sit down and I'm just gonna watch it.
Okay, I would do that.
What about this movie or A Week Away?
Well, those are just two different movies. I can imagine the people who run the A Week Away camp or however whatever their camp name was, like watching this movie and be like, no, not in front of the children. I'd probably do A Week Away. Whatever.
I don't know. Okay, so around. Well, anyways, what do you think was good about this movie? Give me something good.
The animation wasn't bad.
Yeah, I didn't mind the animation.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the trailer. I just could only hear it through your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the animation was going to look a little more like other adult animation movies, which isn't my favorite style. But this one was actually pretty good. And, like, for as absurd and, like, all over the place this movie was, the animation was too, but in a better way.
It was what, but in a better way?
It was, like, very frenetic, and I kind of enjoyed that because at least it fit the tone of the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked cool for what it was doing. Like, at least, like, the animation wasn't bad. Because if I didn't care about the animation, then this whole movie would have just been ugly, but it wasn't. It looked good, except what I was actually watching was not.
Yeah, I don't know if I could compare it to anything, really. I don't know what I've seen that, like, has a similar animation style to it. You know?
Yeah, like, it was very unique, but not in a, like, unique way. Like, it was unique in that I can't compare it to anything else, but it wasn't, like, mold breaking or, like, this, like, really, like, for lack of a better term, I can't think of, like, avant-garde way. It just was different.
I'm sorry, I just discovered something on the internet that I might not be able to, like, forget, and I might need to research it more. It literally has, like, nothing relevant, to this conversation. I was trying to find, a cartoon that this had a similar animation style to, and so I was looking through some of the more random cartoons I watched as a kid, and so one of them that I looked up was Tuttenstein, and then I saw a picture of Tuttenstein and Spider-Man, and I was like, hold on a minute, there was a crossover. And now I need to figure out if this is actually a thing, because if Spider-Man was in the Tuttenstein universe or vice versa, I think I would probably cry. I think I'm crying right now.
Oh god. Don't cry, Ava. It's okay.
I could cry if I want to cry, Jenna.
Well, if you want to cry, then cry. I'm not saying you can't cry, but, like...
But anyways, I'm gonna have to figure out if that's legit. Here's hoping. Because, wow, I'll need to read that.
I'm Googling it. Except I don't know what Tuttenstein is.
You don't know what Tuttenstein is? How dare you not know what Tuttenstein is? Actually, I've never met anybody who has watched Tuttenstein.
You know what? You've talked about this in Latin, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I even showed you some.
I remember that conversation.
Tuttenstein was, like, one of my favorites when I was a little kid. I think that, you all should watch it. If you're listening right now and you've watched Tuttenstein when you were little and you want to, talk about it in the comments, let me know, because I feel like I'm like, part of me is like, did this show even ever actually exist? Because, like, nobody else has ever seen it. But, like, whatever.
I have not seen Tuttenstein, not heard of it, no idea what you're talking about. I only have heard about it from you.
My gosh. That's just... I'm trying to figure out if this is something that would be on Marvel Unlimited, because I have a subscription to that. I'm trying to... tell us about the soundtrack while I try to figure this out.
The soundtrack, it used a lot of musical references to songs that currently exist right now. It said that Freebird was the national anthem of America, and that was a time. By that point when I was watching this movie, I was ready to dunk my head in a lot of water and hope that, like rice... Well, no, I was hoping to dunk my head into a bowl of rice to try and fix whatever this movie had done to me and to try and absorb whatever brain juices were leaking from my head. But I mean, Freebird is always a good song, and they used it well, just national anthem, eh? And I mean, I don't know, the soundtrack was usable. It's not what I probably would have done if you told me, hey, put together some songs for America. But no one asked me, and I can't do any songs on the spot, and the score was just a score. Didn't really come up that much.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be like, well, I was expecting them to do some weird remix of the actual national anthem, or like, I was expecting it to be like, you know that song that like, he says like, I'm proud to be an American? That song? Yeah. That's actually at the beginning of my 4th of July vlog, which did not come out on the 4th of July. It came out on like the 7th of July. But today's 7th, yeah. But anyways, I was expecting that to happen, and that didn't happen. I wasn't really sure what the song was until like later. I couldn't have told you the name of it though. Like, I recognized the song, but like not the name, you know? But yeah, it's like, it was weird, man. I don't know, I didn't really notice the music that much. I mean, there's obviously that moment, but yeah.
Like, Freebird. And like, it came out of nowhere, too. And like...
I can't find this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to ever find it. If I do find it, I'll let you guys know in the vlog. Because I'm a vlogger now. I don't know how that happened. No, I know how that happened. I said that I was going to become a vlogger.
I would like to be a vlogger, but I have a horrible recording setup that barely works for what I do already.
Oh, I just use my phone.
My phone doesn't record audio.
Oh.
It's just a buzzing noise.
Oh.
So I would make great vlogs on my phone, Ava. I should do that as a joke. Just do a whole vlog.
Do a whole vlog series of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there were some, like, actors in this that I feel like are above this, you know? Well, actually, I don't know if they're above this, but they seem like this is above their pay grade. Or, no, they're above this pay... Okay, whatever. But, like, Channing Tatum, and then, like, I don't know, I recognize Judy Greer. I know her. I recognize this guy, but I don't know what he's from. Let me click.
I just knew that Channing Tatum was in this movie. That's about it.
But anyways, so if you click on Channing Tatum and you click on movies and TV shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this is, but you need to scroll way down, like past the show more, and then way down after that for this to show up. It's like down with like the movies that either haven't aired yet or are from like 2013.
They're trying to bury it.
Literally, they're like, this was a mistake. Magic Mike will not be seen like this. Dear John cannot have his reputation tarnished. And I'm like, okay. Like, I just don't know why it's so far down. I wonder if it's far down on other people's.
Yeah, maybe just no one's updated it now that the movie's actually out.
Oh my gosh, that new Halloween movie's gonna come out. That's cool. Oh. I guess she's already planned to be in, like, a couple. Sorry, so I know that they have the new one of the Halloween movies coming out soon with Judy Greer in it. But I was just scrolling and there's a third one listed for coming out in 2022. That's cool. I liked the first one. If they're doing like a little trilogy here. How I Met Your Mother, she was on that. Hers is down, it's above one of the movies that hasn't aired yet, but below another one that hasn't aired yet, but it's next to like Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then something from 2011. Who's this guy? I don't know what he is. He's second on the list. Bobby Moynihan. Descendants. What? He looks like he's done a lot of animation stuff. He was in Inside Out, Monsters University, Secret Life of Pets 1 and 2. Interesting. I haven't seen Secret Life of Pets, but I don't know. But still, it seems like everybody had high expectations for this movie, and including, I don't know, Channing Tatum, and then it just did not pan out the way that everybody expected it to. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, everybody loves making fun of America. And then they just didn't make fun of America in the right way, unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's not enough to just make fun of something. Like, anyone could make fun of something. It's like, why are you making fun of it, and how are you making fun of it, instead of like, haha, beer. So American.
Beer is the opposite of tea. Beer is the very essence of America.
No.
Testosterone. Our only leading female character is actually a white guy. Cause like it doesn't even help that they had another female character, because her entire purpose was just to sexually pleasure our protagonist.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to be that person who's like nitpicky about like characters, but I'm gonna be that person right now. It's like, I don't know. It's just, so sometimes I don't have a problem with like certain, I don't want to say I have a problem, or I don't know how to phrase this without sounding like an idiot. Sometimes I don't have a problem when people don't necessarily check off every single box of representation with their cast, because sometimes when they do it, it seems like more stupid for their plot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that, like, you should never represent anyone, or, like, the minute it's not easy to do it, you shouldn't do it. But just, like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Especially when you're working with a limited runtime in a movie, you're also just casting to fill a role who would be best. And when you're writing it, if it's not something that would organically come up in the movie, it doesn't make sense to have it, because your audience will smell that decision, and if it's not truly organic either. So, yeah, I get what you're saying.
It kind of reminds me of, you know that part in Endgame when everybody just, see, I love Endgame, okay? Don't get me wrong, y'all know this. I'm Marvel fan through and through, okay? But there's this moment when they try really hard to be feminist. And they are like, hey, ladies, look, we have strong, powerful women too. And they all just kind of manifest out of nowhere and leave their other battles that they were busy with just to, like, make a fancy walk. And then they go off back to their battles. Like, there's something like that. It's like, okay, little obvious. Trying a little hard there. And it's like, I don't know. It just, so I don't want to start ripping into this movie about the way that they represented people. Because, like, honestly, I mean, obviously representation matters, but you don't need to, it's not like a checklist, you know? But, still, it's like they represented women in the two worst ways that you can represent women.
Yeah.
Like, as a literal man, or as an object of sex.
Exactly.
I don't, it's just...
Like, I really don't think that's a nitpick. I think that's, like, a genuine criticism that you can make of this movie.
They done messed up. I don't know. And then, I mean, like, they had the representation of Native American and African American people, which is, like, I can't speak as to whether those representations were offensive or not. There was nothing blatantly offensive to me in those ones. I don't think there was anything outwardly offensive about any of their representations, except for maybe the fact that they made all British people have yellow teeth, but that was, I mean, that's like a running thing. But, like, I don't know, it just, it bugs me that that's the extent to which they had any women. And I know that there weren't many women to pick from, but, like, if you're gonna try to have a strong female character, you know, if you're gonna try to do that with your cast in a time when there just, like, wasn't that much female independence, you know, there wasn't much female representation in the entire world. I mean, there were women there, but, like, on the actual national stage, there weren't really. If you're gonna pick a time like that and you want to have a powerful female main character, there's better ways to do it.
Yeah, and it's especially annoying because, like, Thomas Edison, like, wasn't even from the revolutionary time anyway, so it's not even like they were just trying to go for people from the American Revolution. They just picked whoever they wanted. So, like, why? Did you? Yeah, they just clearly didn't take AP US history, Ava.
Ew. No, because they didn't even really have Abe Lincoln during the thing, right? He was during the thing. Oh my god. He was not in the revolution.
Oh,
like,
he was
at
in the
all.
Civil War.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't understand why he had to be present in this movie either, and, like, stuff like that. And then they they couldn't. I mean, I don't know. It's just they messed up bunch of times.
Mistakes were made.
There are probably a lot of regrets. Netflix is probably like, why'd we do that? They're like,
why did we put money into this?
Because, like, it wasn't even on the trending page. I mean, I wasn't looking, like, the day or so that it came out, because it came out while I was in Cape Cod, so I don't know if you saw whether or not it was trending ever. But, like, there are other things that have been on the trending list for, like, a while that this one is not. And I'm like, usually when a new thing drops, it gets its moment in the sun, even if it's bad, you know? Like, what is it? What's been on there for a while? Well, things haven't been on the... Whatever was on it for a while is not on there anymore. But I know that, what is it? Fatherhood was on there recently. It was in, like,
Outer
the 10th
Banks?
position, like, yesterday.
Outer Banks.
Oh,
was
no, I'm looking at the
on
top
there
10.
forever? Yeah, like, but, like, even when Outer Banks came out, and, like, Outer Banks
yeah.
wasn't amazing or anything, but it was there for ages. So it's not like...
Because people were obsessed with Outer Banks.
Yeah. So, like, generally new things get some time. Like, I'll log on to Netflix and I'll be surprised at the things I see in, like, the top 10. And this movie, I don't even think was in the top 10 when I watched it, like, on Monday.
Yeah, Thunder Force was out there for a while, and it we all know how that one went. So like,
Question
but yeah,
mark,
I mean,
question mark.
general consensus is just that this was a bad movie, and like it could have. I don't want to reiterate myself so many times, but it just makes me mad because this could have been such a good movie if they did it well. You know?
Yeah, like, I mean, even though I'm, like, a major history nerd, I'm all for doing weird things with history to, like, say something, or, like, trying something new with, like, a history we know, or, like, trying to illuminate history not everyone knows about. But, like, no, this wasn't good. Why did you do this? I don't care about the desecration of American history, because the narrative we have is like desecrated other people's histories. But like, this was just bad decisions, and it just, no, I don't even know what they were going for. I mean, I know exactly what they were going for, but I also don't understand.
The only like a silver lining to this is that I hope there were some certain people who got annoyed because of certain things, because I'm a sadist and I like when people get annoyed.
I mean, I got annoyed, but I don't think it's at the things you're trying to reference.
Yeah, probably not. But I don't know, because people get mad on TikTok and everything. I like things, and it's funny to watch them stir, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Tumblr, but sometimes it's really fun to just look at things on Tumblr and just laugh at people.
Yeah, people getting annoyed by stupid things. Like, if anybody's getting annoyed by this, like, you're misrepresenting our great country. Benedict Arnold wasn't a werewolf. I am sorry. I really just hope that there is some stupid annoyances out there, because I like it when people are dumb, because it's funny and we laugh at them.
Please entertain us more than we were entertained by this movie.
Yes, please. I think that's all we have to say about that. Thank you guys so much if you've made it this far into the video. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you thought about this movie. Loud dogs. Share with your friends if you know somebody who watched this movie and had thoughts. If you listen to podcasts on any other platforms other than YouTube, go ahead and check us out on basically any other streaming platform. They're all in the description. If you're on one of those other platforms, hi, you're one of our estimated audience of 2. Thank you so much. You can probably follow us on whatever platform you're on. And that would be that would be great. We would appreciate that very much. And we're close to 100 overall streams of the entire show ever in the in our other platforms. So like, if like 7 more people will listen to it, that would be kind of cool. What else? Oh, in the description we have our TikTok and Instagram, which right now, I'm trying to get back on the ball for our TikTok. I posted a couple recently. I'm going to post another today and soon. I have like 4 drafts locked and loaded to catch up on our older episodes, so that we can get everything up there. Because we're just here for quality content, you know? We post a new episode of this podcast every Wednesday, and we upload other kinds of content on the weekends, unless you're me and can't get the video up on the weekends, then you post them on a Tuesday. Also, I've been doing a little vloggy thingy, which it's definitely a mood. It's not professional, but I'm trying, so it's cool. And yeah, so that's all about if you want to come along for the ride of just my daily life, but also me trying to write a pilot of like a hypothetical Netflix show that will never be picked up. And I will be annoyed because it will never be picked up and Netflix picks up movies like this. But anyways, guys, it really means a lot that you've listened this far. And we are very grateful. So yeah. Jenna, anything to add?
Freebird!
Okay, bye!